Late breaking news as we come on the air right now at 11 o'clock for you tonight. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us. I'm Doug Prophet. Don't let him out of prison a second time. That is the message tonight in a letter from 26 Republican Kentucky lawmakers. Now, they sent this letter to the Kentucky Parole Board. The GOP Kentucky House members are talking about Ron Exantis, rearrested, as you see in this video, in Florida for violating his parole. He's now back in Kentucky after being extradited by Florida. They say his actions, the lawmakers say his actions in Florida demonstrate how he remains a serious and ongoing threat, particularly to children. Exantis admitted to randomly killing Logan Tipton in Versailles 10 years ago. Now, in the letter, the written statement, the Republican lawmakers say, quote, his proximity to children after such violent acts highlights the urgent need for strict measures to prevent any possibility of reoccurrence, end quote. Now tonight we take you to a foggy live look at Capitol Hill this evening. You see the U.S. Capitol barely there through the fog on the lens as we're now reaching an end to day number 29 of the second longest government shutdown. And we're now 3 days away from when families on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, you've heard so much about it, known as SNAP, won't be getting their financial benefits. So we have also been checking in on counties around Metro Louisville as part of our coverage all week long. We certainly know Kentuckiana jumps in to help, so generous when the need is there. And now food pantries across Kentuckiana are expecting a huge increase in demand. WHAS 1119's Jose Alonso is in Nelson County tonight, where a catering company and a church are already filling family pantries.
I just can't imagine being a parent and not being able to provide for your families. I mean, I've been there before, and I'm so grateful that I'm in a different place now, but I know what it's like.
Morgan Haynes, a Nelson County resident, is partnering with Bourbon City Kitchen and Trade Company to start a food drive.
She made a post on one of our community sites, and we were tagged in it just because they already know that we have given to Bethany Haven and other organizations within the community.
Owners Janae and DJ Herndon say it only takes a $10 donation to assemble a meal for one person. And now they're collecting food to help families on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, this weekend in downtown Bardstown, a few minutes north. These members of Journey Church have been running a food pantry for 3 years now. Pastors Jonathan and Kathy Watson say they're expecting an increase in demand.
7 different people, as of this morning, had reached out and said, where can we get help? We see the news, we see what's going on, it's scaring us. I don't know how I'm going to feed my family.
Around 94 volunteers show up each Thursday to help distribute donated food to hundreds of families.
We serve on average about 350 is probably the average. We've served up to over 400 before. We did see a decline, but in the last several weeks it has really increased.
Although this food pantry at Journey Church gets a lot of their items from corporate sponsors, you can still make donations. Items like bottled water or canned goods that are full of protein, just like this chili, or other canned goods that are full of nourishing fruit, just like these sliced pears, or other non-perishable items, just like these crackers. This community is stepping up to make sure their fellow Kentuckians eat.
People that are already struggling are not going to be able to provide for their families. I mean, there are children that are going to go hungry, going to go to bed hungry, and that breaks me.
Jose Alonso reporting tonight as Bourbon City Kitchen will soon announce when families can pick up their meal supplies at their downtown location. Journey Church will be actively running their drive through food pantry tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. Again, 3 to 6 p.m. on Thursday. In Floyd County, Indiana today, Head Start programs may have to close their doors. They will have no funding next month due to the shutdown, isolating families that use the programs for child care who are under the SNAP benefits as well. Head Start programs on the June funding cycle will be able to keep their doors open like the one in Floyd County. However, because of no money from the USDA, they will not receive the money necessary to feed the kids. This worries the Head Start staff, trying to make sure no child goes hungry.
The first 5 years of life is when 90% of development is done in the brain. And if you don't have quality for that development, then they end up struggling later. If you have a solid early childhood foundation, then you're more likely to graduate from high school.
If the shutdown does continue, the open Head Start programs will have to find ways to feed children. Minton clarified that regardless of funds, they will work around the clock to ensure that the children are fed. Well, the government shutdown started on October 1st, so WHAS11 News today looked into how Kentucky's top political leaders have been voting so far on the efforts to fund the government. Here's what we discovered. Despite the narrative of Democrat versus Republican, our legislators from Kentucky are split on the issue. Here you can see the House has not voted on budget measures since September 19th, before the shutdown. Most of the Republican representatives did vote for the budget, but Republican Congressman Thomas Massey voted no alongside the lone Democrat, Morgan McGarvey of Louisville. Now let's go to the U.S. Senate. Here's what we found. As you know, Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul has been voting against the funding bills, but this week in Louisville said he would vote to open portions of the government through a series of smaller bills if presented, while U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell has voted yes to funding the government for the past 3 votes.
Anybody who saw the video and thinks that it was partly Sonia's fault is inhumane. And for them to not get the life, and Sonia got life and death, he should be under the jail. I can't wait till he goes to hell.
Now to the shocking case that's been underway in the state of Illinois. You just heard from Donna Massey, the mother of Sonia Massey. Today, justice served for Massey as her killer. A former Illinois sheriff's deputy was convicted of second-degree murder and will spend up to 20 years in prison. Massey was killed in her own kitchen on July the 6th, 2024, after calling police for help about a possible prowler. The deputy, Sean Grayson, opened fire, believing Massey was about to throw boiling water at him. When defending himself, the deputy asked about why he didn't choose to use a taser on her instead. His partner also testified, saying that Massey, quote, never did anything that made me think she was a threat, end quote. Massey's family wishes that Grayson received the first-degree murder charge, and they're hoping for a maximum sentence. Well, the old cast-iron downspout on the side of the historic Louisville Gardens tonight not only told you the story of our weather, but you could hear it as well. The heavy rain spilling over and splashing everywhere in the concrete. In fact, stand right near it, and you get drenched. The water coming down. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Mallory Schnell, at this late hour. So, Mallory, it has been raining all day long. I think it even rained through my umbrella today. It was just nonstop.
I mean, this is what we call a washout, right?
Yes.
Complete washout the entire day. Steady rainfall, moderate, even heavy at times, although a lot of it has been just light, steady showers. We picked up anywhere between 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall across much of the area. Thankfully, it fell steady enough to where flooding wasn't an issue, though we have seen some ponding on the roads, of course, so you still want to be cautious if you're out tonight. The heaviest rainfall as we speak is currently in southern Indiana. That's where we're seeing some of that heavier banding here. And yes, we're expecting much of the same as we carry on into tonight. We really need this area of low pressure that's down to our south to lift east and northeastward. Expect showers to continue overnight. Some light rain still on the radar for your morning commute tomorrow, but I promise sunshine does make a reappearance as we wrap up the work week. I'll let you know when, coming up in our 7-day forecast. Doug.
Thank you very much, Mallory. Brand new stories, all new tonight on the night team. Decades in the making. After 45-minute emergency response time for parts of western Hardin County, today a victory for the residents. A new ambulance service is coming to the county. WHAS 11 Night Team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester are in White Mills, Kentucky, where residents say this decision will be the difference between life and death.
The rain today, you know, it couldn't dampen my day.
After 40 years, White Mills in western Hardin County is getting its first ambulance, an area that's had 45-minute emergency response times for decades.
I want to think that maybe those tears are maybe tears of the loved ones because they're tears of joy that we are actually getting something that we've deserved for many, many, many years.
Something that hits close to home for Michelle Gore, who lost her mom in 2014 after she suffered a medical emergency and didn't make it to the hospital.
With this happening, that there's going to be a lot less people having to have that feeling and carry that guilt with them the rest of their life.
The decision to add a 9th full-time ambulance to the county was left in the Judge Executive Keith Tall's hands.
You know, it's been a long, long road and a bumpy one, a windy journey to get here, but I think we've got to the right conclusion, and I'm very happy about it.
What he says it boiled down to was money. It wasn't in the budget. That was until West Hardin Fire and Rescue helped out, taking matters into their own hands and raising $25,000 to renovate their White Mills station into a space to house EMS.
And so they did all that and wrapped that thing up in record time. I don't know how they did it, but they finished it, in July. And so now we have a place to put an ambulance.
This is a day room. This will be like where the crews can stand, stay, they can stay in here. It's ready to go.
This addition will cut EMS response times in half.
I have to pinch myself from time to time to make sure that it's really real, which it is.
A reality West Hardin Fire and Rescue Chief Steve Gore and his team have fought decades for.
Because now our firefighters not going out and responding on their own to emergency without EMS support. That can be scary.
While the rain comes down on West Hardin County, residents are left breathing a sigh of relief, knowing they have an ambulance for the first time in 40 years. In Hardin County with photojournalist Aspen Hester, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS11 night team on your side.
So a victory for the residents there. We also learned tonight it's going to cost the county $300,000 to pay the salary for the EMS crew, which Judge Executive Tall says they have money in the reserve that they can pull from until next fiscal year. The county needs to hire also 6 full-time EMS workers. And once that happens, the goal is to have them to move into that station by mid-November. More talk about data centers in Louisville tonight and the zoning for them. This meeting tonight at the Southwest Regional Library on Dixie Highway. These meetings are part of Metro Council's plans to figure out new zoning rules to control the possible influx of data centers. William Houston came to the event to gather information on how these centers could impact our community.
What I would hope to see would be something that does fit into the built environment, right? Something that doesn't look like a huge monolith in the middle of someone's neighborhood. Something that, again, uses some sort of sustainable energy, even if it's off of the LG&E KU grid. Something that uses some type of sustainable energy that would allow people to still live a good quality of life while being able to use progressive technology, right?
There are 2 more sessions left to attend to express your opinions, both next week on Monday at the South Central Regional Library and then Tuesday at the Parkland Library in West Louisville. More local news, no injuries reported after a scary situation today as a U.S. postal truck flipped over here in Louisville. It happened about noon. Take a look at the video of this mail truck. It is right there on its side. And this was on Arden Road near Taylorsville Road. You can see some damage to a red Mustang's front bumper there as the crew tows the car away. You can also see the crew bringing the mail truck back up to its normal position. Right here, a few minutes later, both vehicles were towed away on tow trucks. USPS says they could not give us any information on the driver's condition. Right here on the night team, spooky sonatas and enchanting ensembles. The scene at the Kentucky Center for the Arts in downtown Louisville tonight, how the Louisville Orchestra is celebrating Halloween. It's new tonight for you on the night team.
And after a soggy day across Kentucky, Anna, we will gradually dry out tomorrow with breezy conditions and looking good for those trick-or-treaters on Friday. That Halloween forecast coming up after the break. Here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $754 million. Powerball, $376 million.